here we are with Ted. He's another Kawasaki nut, just like the rest of us, and he's gonna walk us through his beautiful H2 here, kind of talk about his story, and just tell us the passion about the bikes and a little bit about his project here.
Obviously, it's an H2, and in 1973, I owned a gold H2, quite similar to what this is, and I rode it for 5 years, and after 5 years of riding it, I decided to get into motocross, and I sold it.
Yeah.
And a big mistake. I guess I rode motocross for maybe another 5 years,
okay.
And I totally got out of bikes. What happened with me is I always wanted an H2, right, again, because I knew what they were like. And finally, about 2 years ago, I found this one. A friend of mine named Jody had it, and I bought it from him.
Yeah.
And the bike has had 4 owners. I'm the 4th one.
Wow.
The first 2 had it for a long time. I've done lots and lots of work to it.
Okay.
New electrical system from Rick's. Paul Gas redid the transmission for me.
Oh, awesome.
Which is really great. All new wiring. Vintage Kawasaki did the vapor blasting for me. And I've just, over the last 2 years, torn it apart completely and rebuilt it. I ride it every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ride it in the summertime.
Yeah, you don't hear that too often with these old bikes.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
And it's a beast to ride.
Yeah.
The other really great thing about this is I mentioned the community on Facebook. When you have a problem, you post and you say, hey, this is a problem I got, and 9 times out of 10 somebody will get back to you.
Yeah.
And I had a real problem with the left-hand carburetor. At a really low RPM, it wasn't pulling the gas up, and I'd taken it apart about 3 times and tried to fix it and didn't. And so I posted on Facebook about it, and one guy got back to me in California and said, I got a carburetor, but it's $250 plus shipping. I go, oh, geez, I can't afford that. Well, the next person who got back to me lived in Guelph, which isn't too far from here.
That's awesome.
He had 5 of them, and he gave me one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then to boot, I brought the bike out, and we did a tune-up on it. We set up the timing and did the jetting properly, and the bike runs like night and day.
Awesome.
Really great. And
fantastic.
So the community has helped me a lot with this bike.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed too when I got into bikes, because I didn't grow up with them, obviously.
Yeah.
So when I got my H2, it was kind of like, okay, I've got it, but now what?
Yeah,
where do I find parts? Who do I talk to? Yeah, I was kind of like a fish out of the water, and these guys really took the shirts off their backs and helped me.
Yeah.
It was unreal. So that's kind of been my philosophy even going forwards, is always do what I can to help. Yeah. Because they're the ones that help me, and who knows, maybe I'll help the next Pete.
Yeah, exactly. And I've learned so much. When I had the bike with the engine apart, I took the crankshaft to a fellow who I took the crankshaft to this fellow, Gord Bush.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got him to balance it for me.
Awesome.
And I couldn't believe what he was doing. He put it on a stand, he put a mic on it, and he spun it. Yeah. And I watched the mic go like this, right? Yeah. And then he takes it off, puts it on another stand, takes a great big hammer with a cold chisel, and he puts it between the lobs and goes wham! Honest to God. And then he puts it back on the stand, spins it, and moved a little less. Yeah. Moved it back over. 3 times he did that, and the 3rd time when he spun it, true, it didn't move at all.
Perfect.
And it was very, very cool. Yeah. And that's what I like about this. There's tons of things I don't know about these bikes. Yeah. But totally. You talk to people, and it cost me $20 to do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's unreal.
It's like the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Gord's amazing. I brought my crank down to him. I had a seizure on one of my motors, and just as a precaution, I just stripped the whole motor down, sent him the crank. Yeah. And I didn't watch him do it, but same thing. He's like, oh, I checked the balance of your crank and it was off by so and so, so I fixed that for you. And he gave me the price afterwards, and I thought there was another zero on the end, and I had the money in my pocket, and then so I took it all out, and he looked at me like, no, like it was this. I was like, oh, put a few bills back. Here you go. But
exactly the same
prime
thing.
example of how the community helps each other. But now because of that, like I reference guys to him. So maybe he did that to help me out, but I'm sure it's come back to him and tenfold, right? So it's really incredible.
So it's been a real treat for me because I didn't ride a bike for 40 years, and I actually like working on it better than I like riding it. I like riding it too, but working on it's the best thing.
And there's always something to tinker with.
Yeah. And I don't know what I'm going to do when this one's done, because I only have so much space, and every once in a while my wife Nora says, oh, maybe you could buy me a little bike. So it could be like a 400 or 350.
Yeah, maybe an S3 in the future.
Might be in the future. I'm not quite sure about that.
So some of the other things that you've done to the bike since Jody had it, because it had chambers and stuff on it before, right?
Yes.
So I saw you kind of brought it back to some of the more original aesthetic. Do you want to kind of talk about your idea with the styling with that a little bit, or? Yeah,
my bike when I first had it was pretty much stock. I played around with it a little bit. I put a road race fairing on it for a while, and I got over that and took it off and put it back to normal. But I really like the stock bike. I really love the way the stock exhausts look. It came with chambers, and I just decided I would try to find them, and I lucked out because Andy at Vintage Kawasaki had a set of chambers, or not chambers, but exhausts for it.
Oh, awesome!
And there they were in the box. And he said that he thought they were the last ones in North America that were available. And I think Paul Gast had something to do with getting chambers.
Yeah, so those are
or not chambers, but the
Duremi reproductions?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I really credit Paul and for getting those chambers into North America, because I don't think there's many around.
No, they do them definitely very limited batches, and when they're gone, it's another few years before they come out again.
Before they come out again. That's my original H2, and the front actually cut it out, and so I could take it off, and there was a headlight behind it.
That is cool.
Yeah, so I could ride it at nighttime too. Yeah. That was a long time ago.
It looks beautiful. I love the original H2R fairing. It's just gorgeous. So to convert one for the street is awesome.
At some point, I think somebody has painted this bike because I don't think it's a standard color. And I was told that on the production line, when they were making these bikes, depending upon the day, the color would be different.
Yeah, how many paint fumes they sniffed determines how many coats of candy they put on.
Exactly. So I really like the color of this bike.
It's beautiful.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
When I got it, there was sort of a makeshift a filter system on it.
Okay.
And just 2 weeks ago, I managed to find an original canister and filter.
Nice.
And I got it put on for the show. So
absolutely.
It's really perfect.
Yeah, and you don't have it on, somebody's going to point it out in the comments.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't have the filter.
Yeah, it doesn't have a proper...
Some people are real picky with that stuff.
Yeah. And I really have to say, I built the bike so that I could ride it.
Awesome, yeah.
And I only have a limited amount of money, and I can only put so much into it. But anybody can do what I did with this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's dependable, and I get to ride it all the time, which is fantastic.
No, and that's great to hear, because so many people they treat them as investments, and they'll have tremendous amounts of money into them, but they don't get to enjoy them and really experience what made them so popular to begin with. So, so that's great to see.
One day, it was, I guess, in the spring, a superbike pulled up beside me, and he's looking at the bike, and he goes, "Oh, I love the smell of that bike."
Oh, yeah.
And because it's smoking like crazy, right? and the lights turned green, and we both hit it, right?
Oh, okay.
And I kept right with him, right?
Oh, cool.
And I had to turn at the next set of lights, but I think he was really surprised that I kept up with him. One thing I have to change on this bike is the way the
rotors.
The brakes are.
Yeah.
The reason this is like this is because this is the same as this side.
Okay, so you got two left-hand calipers.
And Jody, I made a trade with him for the pipes.
Okay.
And he had one of these.
Okay.
You know, for the proper side.
Oh, nice.
And so I haven't put it on yet.
Okay, awesome.
And when I put it on, then I have to do a little bit of work on this to switch it around to the other side.
Yeah.
So that's one job I have. And then at some point, somebody has cut off the, what's it called?
Oh, the steering damper.
The steering dampener. And so I have to figure out a way of getting a steering dampener and putting it back on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at fabricating components.
Okay.
I don't want to weld onto the frame at
No,
all.
I wouldn't, not with the chrome.
Yeah, but I'll try to fashion something that I can put that dampener back on, because it's pretty important with this bike.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You definitely need that. Well, Ted, thank you very much for walking me through your bike. It's beautiful.
Great.
H2s are nothing new to me, but I get just excited every time I see a new one. So, so thank you very much, and appreciate your time today.
Thank you.